Hello everyone. Today we are going to do the lab here. Uh, so in last class we have discussed about what is routing, static routing, default routing, dynamic routing. But today we are going to implement static routing. This one, okay? The lab I'm going to explain first the lab scenario, how we have the lab. Then after I'm going to take uh, the implementation here. So I'm going to take two routers. Okay. So one I'm going to take as a uh, router one. That is my customer router here. Okay. From this router, I'm going to connect the LAN connection. Okay. So then I'm going to take few PCs here. Okay. PC means computer desktop here. And this is gigabit Ethernet 0/0. Okay. Means from the router, I'm connecting to the switch. From the switch, PC we have connected here. And the IP address I'm going to take in 192 series 192.168.10.0/24. This is the network I'm going to take. So here gigabit Ethernet I'm going to assign 10.1. For the PC I'm going to assign 10.2, 10.3. That means 192.168.10.2, 192.168, 10.3. And gateway IP address will be this 10.1. That's how I'm going to be configure and assign here this one. Then after I am going to connect to service provider. Okay. I'm going to connect what? Service provider, ISP. Okay. Internet service provider. Here in the internet service provider also we get router only here. Okay. There also we will be having router. Now connect from your router to service provider. What type of connection this one? Serial cable. It's a WAN connection. So WAN, and this is my serial cable here. So here serial 0/0/0 interface. Here also serial 0/0/0 interface I'm going to use. But here also we require an IP address, this one, to connect from router 1 to ISP. Here I can take a different IP address. For an example, okay, 10.10.10.0/24 I'll take. That means for this serial/0, I'm going to assign 10.1. The other end, I'm going to assign 10.2. This is how I'm going to be assign 10.1 and 10.2 here. That's how I'm going to be assign the IP address. Okay. Then after, here in the ISP side, or you can take it ISP or the another branch office also you can take it. So we'll do one thing. So not ISP, we'll take as a router 2. Router 2 is another branch office here. So here again I'm connecting to the switch. Okay, again this one gigabit Ethernet 0/0. Here also I'm having some PCs. And for this I'm going to take the IP address 192.168.20.0 network/24. That means here the gigabit I'm going to assign 20.1 and this will be 20.2, 20.3. Got it, this one? That's how I'm having the lab scenario here. So later on what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect one more network in the router 2. Okay, one more switch I'm connecting. Okay, on gigabit Ethernet 0/1. Okay, I'm going to be connect. Here I'm going to take few PCs. It will be connecting. And this IP address will be a different. For an example, I'm going to take 200.100.50.0/24. That means for gigabit 0/1, I'm going to assign 50.1 and this will be 50.2 and 50.3. That's how I'm going to be. Later, I'm going to extend this network. Okay, not now. I'm going to extend later here this one. This is how I'm having a topology. But now if I want to communicate from 10.2 to 20.2, it's not possible to communicate. Why? Because traffic hits to the router. In the router, it maintains the routing table. C is equal to 10.0. C is equal to 10.0. 10.0 means this one, first one. Another 10.1 means this one. Okay, which is connected on gigabit 0/0, which is connected on serial 0/0/0. So I know only this 192.168.10.0 and 10.10.10.10.0, but 20.0 I'm not aware. Now we are going to implement static routing. Okay, now we are going to implement what? Static routing. So to implement the static routing, we have a command. Okay. So we'll type IP route Okay, IP route, then destination network, destination subnet mask, then next hop IP address. This is the command. Okay, IP route, destination network, destination subnet mask, and next hop IP address. So in my case, IP, the command will be space route. Who is my destination network? 192.168.20.0 is my destination network. I want to reach, I'm configuring on the router 1. For the router 1, who is the destination? 20.0 is the network, right? So here I'm going to type here 192.168.20.0. What is the subnet mask of the destination network? 255.255.255.0. Then space, what is the next hop IP address? Means hop means what? The router which is connected to other router directly. Okay. So this router 1 is connected to router 2 directly. How it's connected? Via serial 0/0. Through this serial interface, it's connected. The other end, what IP address we have? 10.10.10.2 we have this one. Other end, 10. So here 10.10.1. Another end, 10.10.10.2 we have this. IP address we have to give, not network here, this one. So the 10.10.10.2. That's it, the implementation of static routing. Now, if you go here in the routing table, now it will be adding S is equal to 192.168.20.0. I know via 10.10.10.2 or serial 0/0/0. That means go via this interface. If you go to this interface, it will be reaching here, and also it will be having the 10.10.2. This is how static routing we are configuring. Now, whenever if I try to communicate to 10. When it is hitting, it looks to the routing table. Yes, I know 20.0 network. How I know? Statically. To read this one, go to this IP address. So I'll go to this IP address. When the traffic is reaching here, okay, obviously it will be connected to the local network. Why? Because this router is the local network here, this one. That's how we are going to implement the static routing. Got it? Clear? Okay. But for this today's lab, I'm going to use simulation. Okay, I'm not using the real devices because serial interface is not working on our routers here. So that's the reason I'm using simulation here, this one. Okay, this simulation, we have one simulation called Cisco Packet Tracer. Can you see this one? This is the software you can download from the Cisco website, Cisco Packet Tracer. Okay, after downloading, you can be installed. The installation normal, next, accept license, normal setup, we have this one. Then after you have to be click here, this one. So Cisco Packet Tracer here, this one. In this one, this is the simulation, but I prefer to use for the static first lab, which I have shown you in the last class, right? How to access, you practice on the real device. You practice on the real device. After that, if you want to be practice, you can use the simulation, but I will not recommend to use the simulation. But now I'm using because only that serial ports are not working. Because of that reason, I'm using the simulation here, this one. Okay, but whenever you want to practice, you use the routers completely, this one. Okay, anyhow, I'm going to take only 2 or 3 classes on the router here. So that's the reason I'm using the simulation, because simulation only to remember the commands, we can use the simulation. But if you completely depend on the simulation, it's not same environment or the infrastructure will be having the production. So you'll be get confused and you'll be facing a lot of issues to access the devices. So I recommend always to be use the routers only. Okay. Now simulation, see here, you can see that one we have many devices. You can use many devices here, this one. Not only one. See, router I have selected. See, these many different series of the router we have, switches we have, hub we have, then wireless devices we have, security firewall we have, cloud we have, okay, many things we have. So, but I'm using router here. So here, this is the different series of the router. Router can be identified by the model. or the series router here, this one. So I'm going to take 4321 series router here. Just click on this one and taking the cursor, click here, this one. So how many routers I have to take? 2 routers here. So I have taken 2 routers. Then how many switches? Okay, as if now I'm going to take two switches. One switch I'm taking here, 2960, another switch here, this one. Then PC, okay? Take the, how many PC you want, you can take PC1, PC2, here also PC1, sorry, PC2 here I have taken. Now I want to connect from here to here. Which cable we use to connect PC to switch? Straight through cable. Okay, to connect two different devices, we use what? Straight through cable here. See, here we have the console cable, straight through cable, this one. Okay, this is the crossover, straight through cable. See, I have selected the straight through cable. Now click on the PC. You have to connect on fast Ethernet 0. That means, okay. Then here in the switch. So this is the 24 ports we have. Any port you can connect. Okay. Then connect here. Fast Ethernet. Anywhere you can connect here. Then connect this one. Here also I'm connecting to the switch. Okay. Somehow I just connected here, this one. Then after I had to connect from this switch, any port, to the router I had to connect, right? Router means which interface I had to use? Gigabit Ethernet. Can you see here this one? Gigabit Ethernet 0/0/0 we have this one. There I have taken 00, but actually 3 ports we have here. Here also gigabit any port to the router, gigabit Ethernet 0/0/0. See, by default, whenever you take the router, the serial interface you will not get. That is the module you have to insert on the router. See, this is the module. Okay, by default in the router, you will not get the serial port. This is the separate module you will get. You have to insert on the router here. So that's the reason. See, if I click here, I don't have any serial interfaces. Okay, for this, I have to insert. Double click on the router. See, this is the blank. Can you see this one? The blank one, we have this one. We don't have here. So now what you can do, this one, NM2T. Okay, this is the one. Okay, NM2T, that is a smart serial. Okay, you just select, drag it and drop it here, this one. Okay, but it will not take here. Why? Because whenever, if the router is on, it's not possible to insert that any module. Whenever you want to insert any module, okay, you have to off the router, then you have to insert. See, cannot add a module when the power is on. Okay, so here is the button. Can you see this one? Power and off. I'm going to off that one. Now you can drag it and drop it here. After that one, now you can select on here, this one. Got it? Now it will be detect here, serial interface. Now we got it serial 0/1/0. Okay, there I have taken 0/000. Okay, or else what we can do. You can take anything. There is no condition, no mandatory. If it is a 00 here, there also, you can take anything here. Okay. Now we got 0/2/0. Anyhow, let it be. So here also I'll just go turn off the router, drag it this on 0/2/0. Again, turn on the router. Okay. And then after we have serial cable. Okay. Can you see this one? In a serial cable, whenever you take, okay, one end you get DCE, another end you get DTE. DCE, DTE. Okay. Always provider end, you get DCE. Customer end, you get DTE. DCE, data communication equipment. DTE, data termination equipment. Okay, DTE comes under the provider end. DCE comes under the, sorry, DTE comes in the customer end. DCE comes in the provider end here. Okay, I'm going to configure DC here. See now, serial 0/2/0, I got it. Here also I'm going to connect serial 0/2/0. There is no condition that one, it should be a same interface. I can connect serial 0/2/1 also here. But for easy reference, because it should not get confused for you, so that's the reason same I'm taking in the both the end. Okay. Now we have just connected the cables here. Now this is which network? 192.168.10.0 network. So for this PCs also, I'm going to be assigned the IP address. Okay. This PC 0 we have. I'm going to 192.168.10.2. That's I'm giving the name for that PC. After that, I'll go to the desktop. I'll go to the IP configuration. So here, IP address will be 10.2, subnet mask. And who is my default gateway? No. One second. Okay. 10.1 is my gateway. Router I'm going to use 10.1. So next, I'll just close this one. Now can you see this one? 192.168.10.2. I have just renamed that PC name here, this one. So here I'll just go again. The IP address will be 10.3, the desktop. Here I'll assign the 10.3. Again, the gateway will be 10.1. The 10.1. Now, if I want to communicate from here to here, I can easily communicate. Why? Because the traffic goes to the switch, from the switch it connects, because both are into the local network, right? See, now you just try to ping. So I'll go to the command prompt. In the command prompt, to verify the IP address, you just type IP config. If you type, you can see what IP address is configured, 192.168.10.2, and this is my subnet mask, and this is the gateway address here. Okay, suppose you have multiple interfaces and you want to see more information, then you can type ipconfig /all, even the MAC address, everything you want to be see. Then if you type, see more information I'm getting on that one. Okay, ipconfig /all. Anyhow, now I'm going to ping. To ping home, 192.168.10.3, right? That's another IP address is what? 10.3. Oh. See, another, I'm into 10.2. I'm trying to ping the 10.3 here, this one. See, it's pinging. I'm getting reply. Okay. See how many packets I have sent? 4 packet I have sent, 4 packet I have received, lost 0%. So it's pinging here. Now I want to ping from here to here also, it pings this one. There is no issue with that one. Okay, I'm just close this one. But I want to ping from here to here. Before to that, we had to assign the IP address to these interfaces, right? So before to that, let me configure IP addresses here also in this PCs. So this network is 192.168.20.2. As per the topology, I'm configuring the IP addresses. It's a 20.2 and the gateway is 20.1. I'm going to be configure. Okay. So close this and get into here. This should be 20.3 desktop ipconfig 20.3 20.1 is the gateway. All right. Now we have assigned the IP addresses, but now we have to assign the IP address to the routers also, right? Serial interface. See, this gigabit Ethernet serial interface we have to be assigned. I'll just get into the router. Go to the config. Here I'm going to change the R1. That's a router one, right? Okay. Then I'll go to the CL line, the command line. See, same option we have. Router, enable, configure terminal. Before to that, show IP interface brief, which displays all your gigabit Ethernet and serial interfaces. What is the IP address? Its status. Now, first we have to configure the IP address to gigabit Ethernet 0/0. Then we have to configure for serial 0/2/0 we have to configure here. For this, I'll go to the global configuration mode. Before to that, its router is there. I want to change the host name. Host name as R1. See, it got changed. It's got changed from the router to the R1. Okay. Now I'm going to assign the IP address. Before to that, first I have to get into the interface. Okay. This interface I'm going to get in. Interface gigabit Ethernet 0/0/0. I'm getting. Then type IP address. What is the IP address? 192.168.10.1. That's the IP address space. Then subnet mask we have to give. See, if you give the question mark, you don't know anything after what you have to give. So it's asking IP subnet mask. Subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. Enter. Okay. After this, you have to give no shutdown. Why? Because by default in a router, all the interface into the disable mode. To enable, you have to execute no shutdown. Okay. Now exit. Exit. Now again type show IP interface brief. Here we go. See, IP address is 10.1 and both the end up. Now we have to assign the IP to serial interface also here. Again, go back to the global configuration mode. Okay. Interface serial 0/2/0. Enter. What is the IP address? 10.10.10.1. Subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Then no shutdown. And one more thing, clock rate. You have to configure 64,000. See, on the serial interface, also you have to configure clock rate. Only on the DCE end, you have to configure the clock rate. See, now this is my DT end. See, this command applies only for DCE interface. Okay, it's a mandatory. Clock rate also you have to call. Synchronization, packet, how many packets it has to be, time synchronization. For that one, clock rate has to be 64,000. That is the standard. Every time we give only 64,000 that one. And this we provide only in the DC. DC comes which end? Provider end. Always the clock rate will be set from the provider end, not from the customer end here, this one. See, okay. But I have given no shutdown. I'll just come out. Again, I'll repeat that command show IP interface brief. So now it has taken the IP address, but still it's a down. Why it's a down? Because this end I have configured. This cable is connected to another end. Another end is not configured anything, right? So that's the reason it's a down. We have this one. Now let's get into this router. Change the name here to the R2. Go to the command line. Same thing. What is this? Okay. Enable. Here also show IP interface brief. So first gigabit Ethernet we have to assign 20.0 network, then serial 0/10.0 network we have to configure. For this, to the global configuration. Before that, I'm going to change the host name as R2. Then interface gigabit Ethernet 0/0/0. Then the IP address is 192.168.20.1 and subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Then we have to give no shutdown. Then exit. Then assign the IP address to serial interface serial 0/2/0. Then IP address 10.10.10.2. 255.255.255.0. Then we have to give clock rate. Clock rate 64,000. See, it has taken now here. Then no shutdown. Okay. Now you give show IP interface brief. It's up, but another end is dead. Okay, now it has come up. See, up. There also, if you check it out, it will be up now here, this one. Router 2 is the DC. DTE. So here again you verify show IP interface brief. See here also it's up on the router 1 here, this one. Got it? We just assign the IP addresses here. But if I want to ping from this 10.2 to 20.2, it's not possible to ping. Let's try. See, this is my, go to the command prompt. I'm trying to ping 20.2 to, sorry, 10.2 to 20.2. Okay. Ping 192.168.20.2. See, it's not possible to ping. Destination host unreachable, unreachable, unreachable. Because the traffic goes to this router. In the router, it's going to check it out source and destination information. Source is 10.2. Okay, that is my connected network. Destination is 20.0 network. I am not aware who is the 20.0 network and how to reach that one. Okay, it looks to the routing table. Routing table, there is no information. So let's get into the routing table here on the router one. How we can check the routing table? Show IP route. If you type this one, it displays the routing table. So here, see, I know 10.10.10.0 network. Then I know 192.168.10.0 network, which is directly connected. C means what? Connected. Connected means directly connected. I don't have any information how to connect to the 20.0 network. Now I have to implement what? Static routing. So what is the command to static routing? IP space route. What is the destination network? 192.168.20.0 network. And what is the subnet mask? 255.255.255.0. Then if you give, see, there are many options you have. I had to give what is my next hop IP address. Okay, forwarding router's address here. The next hop IP address is 10.10.10.2, right? Here I am into this one. This router IP address is 10.10.2, right? I'm providing the next hop IP address, serial 0/. So then enter, that's it. Very simple command. Now you just type IP route. See, yes, I know 192.168.20.0 network via 10.10.10.2. How I know? Yes. Yes means what? Static routing. Now, you go and try to ping the 20.2. Let's see whether it pings or not. Still, it's not pinging. See, earlier it was getting a different error. Now I'm getting a different error, but finally it's not reaching. Earlier destination host unreachable. I'm unable to reach. I don't know who is that one. Now request timeout. I know the destination, but timeout request I'm getting. Because what is happening here, I am pinging, right? My traffic goes to the router here. Router already we have configured 20.0 network. Now router is sending the traffic to this router. It's reaching here till here. And when it is reaching, it's replying. That replying, it's coming to the router 1. Sorry, router 2. Now router 2 doesn't know about the 10.0 network to reply that one. Okay. See, just get into this router 2 now. Type show IP route. See, I don't know who is the 10.0 network. That's the reason the reply packets are not coming here, this one. Now you have to implement routing here also, this one. I'm into the router 2 now. I'll just go to the global configuration mode. IP route. What is the destination network? 10.0 network. Always you have to give network. If you give 10.1, it reaches only one IP address. If you give the network, it reaches the complete network here. Okay. 192.168.10.0 network. 255.255.255.0 is the destination subnet mask. Who is the next hop here for the router 2? R1 is the next hop. What is the IP address of the R1 serial? 10.1, 10.10.10.1. That's it. Now you just show IP route. Yes, I know the 10.0 network 10.1. Now, if you go to this one, okay, see, here also it was not reaching, here also. Now, if you ping, it will pings. See, it's pinging here. That's how you can implement your static routing. Means manually you are adding destination information and also you are giving via which path it has to go. Next hop means what? You are defining go via this path or go via this router, you will be reaching to the destination. That is what static routing means. Manually you are configuring, manually you are adding the destination information to its routing table. This is called static routing. Got it? Clear? Any doubts, any questions? Very simple here, this one. Now, both the way we can communicate. Now, you try to ping from this router, this PC here. Okay, I'm going to ping from 20.3. 20.3, I'm going to ping to the what? 10.3. Ping 192.168.10.3. It pings. First packet it will drop. After that, it pings, obviously. Here we go. Can you see this one? Why? Because first time it's sending, right? It's dropping the packet. So next time if you ping, see, continuously it pings. The very first time, very first packet is going to drop. After that, it's reaching. Now see, again I'm ping, all the 4 packets sends and receives. Clear? So completely reachability we have. That's how we can implement. Now, as per the topology, I'm going to add one more network in the router 2 here. You remember that one? Okay. So I'm going to add to another switch. I'm going to add another switch here. Then another PC. I'm going to take only single PC. Yeah, you want to take 2, you can take it here. Then I'm going to take the cable, straight through cable. So I'm connecting from fast Ethernet to any of the port in the switch. Then another cable from the switch to the router on gigabit Ethernet 0/0/1 here I have taken. Okay. Now this is the different network. This is the different network. So 200.100.50.2. This is the IP address I have taken, right? Okay. I'm going to assign the IP address. It will be the same IP address. Subnet mask, default gateway is the 50.1. This is the PC actually. Now in the router, yeah, gateway. Why the IP communicator is coming? IP configuration. 50.1 only, right? 200.150.1. It's correct. It should be a different, not same. If you give the same, see for an example, this, okay, I'll get into this router 2. Pure IP interface brief. Sorry guys. 0/0, I have 20.1, right? For 0/1, you cannot assign the IP address in the same network. It should be a different network. See, you try to assign the same network, it get conflict. See, if you want, I'll show you that one. Interface, gigabit Ethernet, 0/0/1 we have. IP address, I'm trying to add 192.168.20.5 because 20.1 we have 2, we have 3, we have, and 255.255.255.0. See, it will not take it. 192.168 overlap with the gigabit Ethernet 0/0. You are trying to overlap. Overlap means which is already exists. It will not take it here. One single interface, one network IP address. It should be a different here. So that's the reason. Now this time my IP address is 200 200.50.1. Subnet mask, I'm giving class C here. See, it has taken. Then give no shutdown. So once you give, again repeat this command, show IP interface brief. Here we go. Now 0/0/1 50.1 we have assigned. Got it? Now, can we ping from this 20.2 to 50.2? From this PC, 192.168.20.22, I want to ping 200.150.2. Is it possible to ping? Is it possible, guys? Online, are you sleeping?
No, sir.
No, sir. What? You are giving answer that it's not possible to ping, or you are not sleeping?
We are not sleeping, sir.
Okay, let's try whether it pings or not. Let's see that. I'll go to the command prompt. What is my IP address? 192.168. 20.2. See IP config. 20.2. Now I want to ping to the 200.150.2. Okay. Ping 200.150.2. It's going to ping. See, it's pinging. It's pinging. Because why we use router? To connect two different network, right? See, 192.168.20.0 is connected here in one switch. 200.150 is connected another network. Consider this is the marketing department, this is the sales department. Now I want to communicate from marketing to sale. Directly, if I connect the cable from this switch to this switch, it's not possible. Two different network. But in between, how we are connecting? My traffic from here, it goes to the router. But router already knows, right? That's the local network. It's possible. Within the router, when you have connected, it's possible. Got it? Yes or no? Now, is it possible to ping from 200.150.2 to the 192.168.10.2? Let's see. Okay. So, okay, not this one. Now I had to be get into this PC command. So what is my IP address? 200. 200.150.2. Now I'm going to ping to the 10.2. Is it possible to ping now? Yes. Next. Yes. Next. Yes. No. Don't know. Maybe, may not be. Thinking. Okay. Next. Yes. Huh? Huh? Yes, sir. Are you sure? Let's see that. If it is not pinging, okay. Now let's ping from 10.2 to the 50.2. Yes, Abbas, is it possible to ping from 190 to 168 10.2 to the 200 150.2? No. Yes. Already we are configured that one router 2 information knows. Next. From 10.0 network to 200 network. Yes, no. 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 Yes. Let's see whether it pings or not. If it pings, if it not pings, let's ping 200.100.50.2. It pings or not? How many yes? 1, 2, 3, 4 yes, 5 yes, 6 yes. Except this guy. It will not ping. How it pings, man? How it pings? It will not ping. See? Lost. 100% lost. It goes. Who is source? 10.2. Yes, that's my connected network. Who is destination? 200, 150.2. I don't know who is that network. Router 1 doesn't know, right? Router 1 goes to its routing table. Okay. Where is the routing table here? Okay. Show IP route. This is the command you can use to see the routing table. Where is? I don't have any information how to connect 200.0 network. 200, 150 dot. How it will connect? Now we have to implement routing here. Static means what? 1-to-1. We have configured what? How to read 20.0 network. That's it, right? It doesn't mean that one in the router too. Many networks are there. You can reach. It's not like a water tap. You are living and reaching to everywhere. That one. Okay. Now IP route 200.100.50.0. Subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Next hop. Who is the next hop for the router 1? Router 2 is the next hop. What is the IP address of router 2? 10.2. 10.10.10.2. That's it. Now you go to the routing table, show IP route. Yes, I know 200, 150.0 via 10.2. How I know? Statically. All right. Where it is. Now this time, let's ping 50.2. It's pinging now. Got it? Okay, again, I'll come back. From here, is it possible to ping from here to here? 50.2, I want to ping to the 10.2. What a bus. Next. 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 It pings or not? Okay, no. Next. No. What's your? How many yes?
No, sir.
How many yes? Yes. Are you sure? Huh? Let's see whether it pings or not. Okay. I am trying to ping from where? 200 to 10.2. 192.168.10.2. It will ping. Why it will not ping? Already we have configured 10.0 network on the router 2, right? Let's come from any source. Here we are looking for what? Destination. Yes, router 2 knows the 10.0 network. It pings. अपडेट में गुडेट दिया ले आंसर नहीं क्या की यस कर बोल डाले that's how you can implement. Got it? The static routing. Static routing, only one network you can reach. Clear? Any doubts, any questions? Okay. Next, in the same topology, let's do it the default routing. Because the command is same. Few changes we have. Simple change we have this one. Before to that, I'm going to get into the router 1. Router 1, we have implemented what? Static routing for 2 networks, right? 2 networks means what? To reach 20.0 network also and to reach 50.0 network also. I'm going to remove that commands. What is the command to remove? Go to the global configuration mode. Just type whatever the command you are typing. No IP route. This command. I'm just copying. Copy. But here it's copy paste. But in the actual router, just select. It will get copy and paste it. That's it. And another network also we have. That is what? 192, right? 192.168.20.0 network. We just removed. Now you come out, show IP route. See, we don't have anything. we have 10.0 network and 192.168 10.0, which is directly connected, right? 192.168 10.0 is connected. Serial 10.10.10.0 network is connected. Now I have removed this 20 dot also, 200 network also this one. Okay. Now I am going to implement default routing in this one. Default routing on the router one. Okay. I'll just get into the routing. It's very simple. Same command, IP space route. Okay. There we give the destination network, right? Here, the destination network we give as 0. 0.0.0.0. We are not explicitly giving the IP network. 0. 0 means anything. And when you are giving the network is 0, subnet mask also 0. 0.0.0.0. What is the next hop we have to give? What is the next hop for the router 1? R2. What is the IP address of router 2? 10.2. 10.10.10.2. That's it. Only change in the static routing, explicitly we give the network ID and subnet mask. In the default, we don't know. Default. Okay. Now we have given. Now you just check it out. Show IP route. You type. See, now we have configured some default routing. S star. Yes means static. Star means candidate default. That means that's a default routing. Okay. Now the question is it possible to reach from 10.0 network to 20.0 network? I have not given the 20.0 network there. Is it possible? Let's see. Okay, I am trying to communicate 20.2. Whether it pings or not. It pings. Now what about this 50.0 network? No, 10.20 dot it's pinging. I want to ping from 10.0 network to 200 network. Is it pings? Are you sure? R2 is configured, but in the router 1, I'm trying to ping, right? The traffic goes from the router 1. Let's see. I'm trying to ping 200.100.50.2. It pings. Any network it pings. Go to the 10.2. How many networks 10.2 knows? It pings everyone. That's what the default routing. Static means manually we have to give. Default means any traffic comes. Hey, wait man, I have default. Go to here. If that router reaches, you can reach. If that router not reaching, it will drop. That's it. R2 we have configured static, right? You can configure. There is no condition that both the end it should have the same routing type. It can configure anything. Yeah. One end, one protocol, another and another protocol. There are many things we have. Clear? Got it? This is how static routing works and default routing works. Both static default, manually we have to configure that one. But we will not configure in the production default routing. Always we go with the static routing. Okay, default routing. That's not secure, right? It goes everywhere, right? And there is a chance of creating a loop also. So that's not a good practice creating, but still we have an option that one default routing. Okay. Now when you can implement the static routing or default routing? Okay, it's when you have a small network, very 5 routers, 10 routers you have. Okay, very small network, then static routing you can configure. One reason. Another reason, when you want to connect to the internet service provider, then always we use the static routing. And your network is consist with the hub and spoke topology. Hub and spoke means what? You have one headquarter, many branch office, all the branch office connected to the headquarter directly. Branch office to branch office is not connected. For example, Bangalore is the headquarter. Chennai, we have an office. Hyderabad, we have an office. Okay. Chennai also connected to Bangalore. Hyderabad also connected to Bangalore. From Chennai to Hyderabad, there is no direct connection. Means if you want to communicate from Chennai to Hyderabad, traffic has to come to Bangalore. From the Bangalore, it has to go to the Hyderabad. Or Hyderabad, it has to come to Bangalore. From the Bangalore, it has to connect to the Chennai. This is called hub and spoke topology. Spoke, you know, spokes means what? For your two-wheeler wheel also you have spoke. That means one center point and many spokes will be there. That's all. In that scenario, you can implement the static routing. If you are connecting to the internet service provider, static routing, your network consists small router. Your means very small locations, less routers you have. In that scenario, you can implement the static routing, and it's more secure actually, static routing. So any questions, any doubts? That's it about the static routing implementation. Zero, 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 zero. Yes. Everything. That's a configuration of interfaces, right? That is not related to anything routing. Routing only one command, IP route. That is the command.